What's up, everybody? Welcome to Maths with Gaston. I am Gaston Mapala. Today, let's have a look at the grade 10 lesson on financial growth. We are going to start with simple interest, then we're going to go to compound interest. Thank you for joining me right here on my channel. Please make sure that you haven't subscribed. Please subscribe so that it will really assist me to and also encourage me to continuously produce content like this one. All right, so simple interest then it's normally used, we use it when a question says to us that calculate the interest on high purchase, or calculate the amount given on high purchase. And then also we can also use it if the question says calculate the simple interest amount at the end of certain years, or it can be at the end of certain period if you have saved the money in the bank. And then the formula that we use here to calculate this, we use this formula here. It says A, it's equal to P1 plus I times N close bracket, where A stands for final amount. A stands for final amount, and then or a final or future amount, ne? Okay, let me just put here, I have seen some other textbook, they do say future amount. Therefore P, it can also be principal amount, can refer to as principal amount or starting amount. This is the amount you are starting to invest the money with. All right, and then one is just a constant. I, it's the interest, is going to be the interest. They normally give you the interest in percentage, guys. So what we do, we normally divide it by 100. Okay, all right. And then what else? N refers to, and it refers to number of years, or in some books can be number of payments. All right, great. And that's how you would deal with a simple interest, guys. If a question comes and then they say calculate the high purchase amount that you need, therefore you know that you use the simple interest formula. And therefore if they say calculate the final amount at the end of the investment period using simple interest formula, and this is the formula that you would use. Okay, normally this formula is there on your formula sheet, guys, so this is the formula you use here. All right, okay, so now let's move to compound interest. Compound interest, you use it used if the question says calculate the inflation. If there is asking us for inflation, anything that has to do with inflation, you use compound formula. And then B, what if they say ask us to calculate the population increase? Ask us to calculate the population increase, we would use the compound formula. C, they would ask us to, they will say directly, said compound interest directly. Okay, if they ask us to calculate the interest as it is, therefore we'll use the compound formula. And then what else? D, they would ask us to calculate the investment. They will ask us to calculate the amount at the end of the investment. Okay, investment or slash savings. Therefore you would know that you use the compound formula. Okay, so how is the formula? Compound formula, the formula is given by, A, it's equal to P1 plus I to the power of N. The variables here, they are just the same as the ones here. The names of the variables, what they stand for, they are just the same as the ones of simple interest. A is for final amount, P is for principal amount, and therefore N is the number of payment or number of years. And That's how you would deal with anything that is to do with compound. You are given, they would ask you to calculate the final inflation figure at a certain period, or the population increase over the years, or compound interest, or the investment, or the savings. And this is the formula that we would use. Okay, great stuff. If you've got a comment, guys, please drop it on the comment section below. If you would like us to do past papers, cover a certain question paper, please make sure that you interact with me, and I will be ready to assist you whenever I can. All right, okay. So let's move on to the next one on our lesson. The next thing that we need to take off are these are the timelines. Timelines, okay. So timelines, they are split into different categories where we apply the timelines. Number one, let me just put it here. Number one, you can use a timeline when there is a more than one deposit. Ne? Okay, let's say more than one deposit into the account, or you can say more than one deposit or addition to the initial deposit. Okay, sometimes let's say for an example, to the initial deposit. Okay, let's say for an example, you have got you deposit over a 5 year period, 5 years. Okay, you start in 5 years, in 5 years time. There you go, you deposit 100 rand. Therefore, after 2 years, you add another 200. And then let's say after 4 years, you add another 100 rand into the bank account. So they would ask you, what is the final amount that you need, you will have at the end of 5 years. Okay, so basically what you do in this case, you're gonna use the compound formula. You're gonna use the compound formula just to show you guys a bit of an example here. Okay, therefore what you would do, you're going to say that 100 rand at a certain interest, it will stay in the bank for how long? For the whole period of 5 years, plus the 200 that you deposited plus I. But this 200 will stay for how long? It will stay for 1, 2, 3 years. So it's gonna stay for the rest of 3 years, not 5 years. Okay, and then you're gonna say plus again, you add the 100 rand here. You added 100 rand to your initial deposit. Therefore, you're going to say how many years is going to stay in the bank for 1 year. Okay, and that's how you would deal if there's additional deposit, and the timeline should be able to assist you there. Okay, second time around, you will use it if there's a withdrawal from initial investment from the initial investment. Okay, that's how you would do it. Okay, so let's say for an example, similar example as this one, you've got a for 100 rand. Okay, let's say 1000, and then after 2 years you withdraw 200 rand. Okay, therefore how would you deal with this one, or how the only way to deal with this one, you would come here, use the same thing as the compound formula. You would use the compound formula, I to the power of n. You're going to say 1000 is deposited. This is for 5 years. Okay, 1000 is deposited, 1 plus I. Therefore, is going to sit in the bank for 5 years. Therefore, you're going to withdraw 200 for that interest, and then that 200 you are withdrawing for the rest of how many years are left? 3 years. Okay, and that's how you would deal with this one. You subtract it out from the original deposit and the total interest as it is. Okay, and then the third thing that might happen here, third thing that will happen on the timeline, you might have a change in interest over the years. The interest might change over over the years. Okay, you guys, you would remember the repo rates here in South Africa has been changing, moving up and down since 2020. So they have increased now. They went down during 2020. Now they are increasing year after year, month after month. Okay, so that means the interest. If you've got an investment account, that interest in the bank changes. So how would you deal with the change interest in this case using a timeline? All right, let's say you've got the timeline there. You've got 5 years here. You've got 100 rand you deposited. So after 2 years, the interest change. Let's say the interest between this one, the interest was, let's say for an example, the interest was, let me say, 8.5%. Therefore, it changes then from the second year, it became 10.5% from the second year. All right. So what you would do in this case, when the interest changes, it's not going to be the same as addition and subtraction, of for an example of depositing initially. All right. So in this case, if you have an interest change, what will happen is that this is what you will do. All right, with an interest change, you are going to use the compound formula. You're going to say 100 rand. This 100 rand at that interest of 8.5, which is 0.085. It was only for 2 years. All right, so therefore that you need to multiply. I'm gonna write down here, guys. You need to multiply everything with the rest of the interest. Okay, you don't add this time around, you multiply with the rest of the interest, which is 10.05. Okay, close bracket. So 10.5 was for the last 3 years. Okay, I'm running out of space here. Let me rather put it. Okay, here we go. So what's gonna happen, you're gonna multiply it with 1 plus 0.105. Then for the rest of the years, there is going to be there for last 3 years. Okay, and guys, that's how you would deal with any information that is given on the timeline. Please draw your timeline. It will really assist you to be able to answer questions like this one. Okay, all right, so now let's move on to the next the next lesson here. Right, so the next thing here, we need to know the exchange rate. Okay, this one is very easy, straightforward. You will be given a rate at which let's say $1, 1 USD, which is $1 is equal to 20 rands. Okay, so therefore it's equal to 20 rand, and then they would ask you to convert, or what is the exchange rate if you invested, or if you are buying a car of 100 and or let's say you're buying a car of 150,000. How much will that car be in US dollars? Okay, basically you will just do a cross multiplication. You can say that price of the car in US dollars is X, then you do cross multiplication there. All right, okay. They will also give us pounds. They'll also give us pounds. They'll give us a rate in pounds, and then they will say pounds. They will say 1 pound is equals to, it's equals to 40 rand, for an example. Okay, yes, so therefore they will say if you are buying a vehicle of 150,000, how much will it be in pounds? Okay, so you're going to say X pounds here. Therefore you will do the cross multiplication and find out how much will that be. I am Gaston Mapala, right here at Maths with Gaston. We have been looking at the lesson on financial growth grade 10. Please make sure that you stay to this channel and subscribe, as we are going to be doing examples on financial growth step by step, easy and straightforward for you to understand. And also we'll also pay attention on past papers as well. I am Gaston Mapala. See you on the next upload.